is Jason Bishop. I'm back discussing another piece of magic. In this case, it is Pendragon's Metamorphosis. Now, this is probably the ultimate metamorphosis that there is, especially for the traditional presentation of the metamorphosis and for speed. I've seen Jonathan do this multiple times online. I've seen him do it on television, and I've seen him do it live a few times. And 2 or 3 times, Jonathan Pendragon has been in the audience, and I've performed Metamorphosis, and I can tell you when the undisputed master of a trick is in the audience and you're doing the same trick, that is incredibly uncomfortable. Obviously, it's a trick that many magicians do. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I'm not stealing his trick. I'm not, appropriating his trick or anything like that. I'm performing a piece of magic that many magicians have performed, but I did it in front of, the undisputed master of this trick. And it's a little nerve-wracking to do that, obviously. He was very gracious, very kind afterwards, and he gave me credit that my presentation is totally different than his. But for impact and speed and the artistry of it, yeah, Jonathan Pendragon has the presentation down pat. I'm not a close second on that. I don't have any, it doesn't hurt me to say that. I'm okay with that. My ego is fine with Jonathan being the best in the world at it. Somebody once said that if you look at the Pendragon's routines on paper, they don't make sense because they were doing like a broom suspension, a sword basket, a metamorphosis, a blammo box. But somehow the Pendragon's presentation just transcended that and brought out the best of these classics. And I think it's something to do with the fact that they were both in fantastic shape. They were both bodybuilders for quite a while, actually. So there's this visceral nature to their magic. I think the less that the prop existed there, the more they shine through because of their physical presence, frankly. Jonathan is a big personality, and Charlotte was also a powerful personality, and they both had powerful bodies, and they both utilized the stage and projected to the back of the audience as such. So the size of the idea of what they were doing transcended the physical size of the tricks that they were doing, and they pulled the best out of it. Their success is through the roof. They've been on countless television shows. They were the centerpiece of a television show in England for a while. They performed for multiple presidents of the United States. They performed for the Queen of England perhaps more than once. They performed at the Kennedy Center. All these amazing, the Magic Castle, obviously. They toured the United States. They did international shows in hotels in Las Vegas and Atlantic City and all across the world as well. They've had an absolutely fantastic standout career. And, if you've ever talked with Jonathan for just a moment, you realize how intense he is about magic and how perceptive he is and smart and what an artist he is. Jonathan Pendragon is just an artist above all things. And he's interested in a ton of things. If you don't know, fun fact about Jonathan Pendragon, in the original movie, The Blues Brothers, John Belushi does a series of back handsprings down a stage. That's actually Jonathan Pendragon doing those back handsprings as a stuntman. Apparently, Jim Belushi really could do that, or John Belushi, I'm thinking of his brother. John Belushi could do back handsprings, but for insurance reasons, they brought in a stuntman. That stuntman was Jonathan Pendragon. I was on a TV show once, actually, and Jonathan Pendragon was there, and we were performing this new levitation. He had never seen it before. This was a brand new piece. It was the only one in existence of its kind. He studies it for a little while. He's watching it, and then he just says, "Oh, hey, try this real quick." And we tried it. It was such an improvement, absolutely, and it was such a genius thing. What he said to do kind of didn't make sense on the surface, actually, and he was 100% right, and it made the trick better, and it just showed me at the moment just what a genius the guy is as far as illusions are concerned, and how knowledgeable he is, and how passionate he is about it as well. So again, I am a professional illusionist. I've performed magic for well over 10 years. I did college shows originally, as well as the Catskills and Poconos, and then cruise ships, and then toured theaters around the United States. I also had 2 successful shows in New York City at the famed New Victory Theater on 42nd Street, and been on a ton of television shows as well. Now, in between shows, working on new magic, practicing magic, and traveling, I pull up magic online like this, I watch it, and I give you guys my thoughts on it as a professional illusionist. So this is the Pendragon's Metamorphosis, which every illusionist and probably his brother has done, and we're going to watch this and see the absolute GOAT, the Pendragons, do this, because nobody does this piece of magic, in my opinion, and most illusionists' opinions, better than the Pendragons. Let's take a look. Here we go. that is absolute perfection in the performance of an illusion, period. That illusion is so polished in so many ways. It's almost a masterclass. And I think the Pendragons are so good at this kind of thing that they make it look easy. There's that kind of expression that you're so good, you make it look easy. They make it look easy. There's nothing, not a single thing they did there, in my mind, is easy, frankly, not one thing. From him getting into the cloth in the beginning of the routine, he gets into that sack, you know, that's not easy. He makes it look clean. It's not messy. It's not cumbersome. It's not awkward at all. It's completely polished. Every single motion that they make is polished. And if you watch this routine on another taping from a year or two later, for the most part, you would see exactly the same performance, exactly with that kind of level of precision. The only difference you might see is that they improved something on it that you didn't even know needed improvement, or maybe they added something else to it that they thought artistically would add to it. You know, their act is the Pendragons, Jonathan and Charlotte, the Pendragons. So obviously Pendragon is a reference to Arthurian legend. So if you look at the sword that he uses, that Charlotte uses actually to lock the box, it's a broadsword. If you look at the makeup of the box, that also accents that entire look and motif as such, you know. So all of it works together that way. The bag is red, so it pops a little bit, it adds some color, but it's also simple. It's not sequined and all lavish and all this kind of thing. If you look at Charlotte's motions with her leg motions, these are sort of dance motions to accent the moments and to polish it and make it look a little bit better. Everything is completely precise. When they stand on top of the box, their foot placement, the cloth that they expand, it's all exactly figured out. And obviously the moment that they switch is just, you know, I've talked with him about that moment actually, and he gave me a piece of advice for when I do it, and every single time I do that illusion, I do exactly what Jonathan told me to do, and I think about it, I go, you know, it has to be exactly this way because that makes the illusion stronger, and Jonathan knows these things, and you can see it in this routine. It's funny because it's a minute 32 seconds, that entire performance, including some of their bows, you know, a minute 32, and yet there's just years and years and years and hours of work and days, months of work that goes into exactly that performance, and it's just humbling and amazing to see. And you know, we all should work on our magic to have it to this level of polish. You know, they're world-class performers. Not all of us will reach that level, obviously, but it's certainly something to aspire to. You know, you get some people who say that, well, you know, as long as the audience is having fun or whatever, and there's some truth to that. But you know, if you can make things a little better and a little better and a little better, and maybe you go to a director or a choreographer, just get that next level of performance. You know, Charlotte's pointing her toes. That's a dance thing as such, but it's something that people have adopted for stage. She keeps her toes pointed so the line of her leg is completely as straight as can be. It makes her legs look longer. It's a more pleasant look. You know, if your leg comes out like this in a straight line, it just looks better as the line. If it bends at the ankle right there, then it breaks that line and it looks sloppier. It doesn't look as pleasant. I'm not a big dance person. I don't know a ton about it. There's other types of modern dance and what have you that do break the line at the ankle sometimes there. But that's a very distinct, different type of thing. That the normal application is to keep your lines long and straight to make them look more beautiful. So there's a lot going on here. You know, she does a costume change at the end. That's another element that's a little bit more difficult, frankly. Magicians, you know, they try to make tricks their own, frankly. So David Copperfield took the idea of Metamorphosis and he did an illusion called Cocoon, and it's a fantastic piece of magic. Now, the interesting thing about Cocoon is, if you notice how Copperfield handles his cloth and throws it, it's almost exactly the same as how Jonathan does it right here. Well, Copperfield loved the way that Jonathan Pendragon handled that cloth and made this sort of hourglass shape in a way. And so he asked Jonathan if he could utilize that particular method of handling the cloth. And Jonathan taught David how to utilize the cloth that way. And so when you see David Copperfield's illusion Cocoon, you'll notice that the cloth is handled very similarly to Jonathan Pendragon's cloth. And that's because he actually taught him how to do that. So Jonathan Pendragon's influence on illusion will echo for decades and decades to come, if not longer than that. You know, could anybody do Metamorphosis like this faster than he does it there? Not really. You really couldn't. You know, you can't do a trick in less than 0 right? In less than 0 seconds. Like it's almost instant. Jonathan has just done so much magic and this physical grand illusion. He sort of coined that term as far as I remember. It's such a great term for magic, physical grand illusion. And I think that sort of intoned the idea that he was using his body as part of the instrument of magic, whereas, you know, magicians want to point or just pick something up and sort of, you know, go through things in sort of a more gentle way. Jonathan was very physical about it because he could be. He's done such a great job. He's had such an incredible career, and he's really pushed, I think, physical magic, physical grand illusion further forward that way. It's been, you know, a pleasure and an honor in my life to be able to meet him a few times and hang out with him and have conversations for a few hours with him at times. And you know, he's just a treasure in magic. And so check out the Pendragons whenever you can. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you'd like to learn magic or you need some new magic tricks, of course, check out Vanishing Ink. It's an online magic store, and the link is below in the description box. This is for beginner, intermediate, and even advanced magicians. This is an affiliate link, so if you buy something via that, then it does support our channel a little bit, and I really do appreciate that. But don't feel compelled to buy anything. That's totally up to you guys. Thank you very much for watching this. Please do subscribe, because, you know, if you like, subscribe, all that stuff, it does help grow the channel. And I enjoy discussing magic like this with you guys, and I hope you get something out of it. And again, you can learn tricks all over the place. Vanishing Ink, you can learn tricks, but we're talking about the performance, the blocking, showmanship of magic here, and what makes great magic great. That's what I'm trying to provide. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this video, destroy the like button. If you want to see more, then subscribe, hit the bell to get notified if you want to get notified. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.